Royce.
Yeah!
All right. Companion Royce, and we're doing a special episode of Eagle Cheese today, trading card games. And we're going to start from the ground up. What can you play today? Just like go out and buy and play. And we're going to play multiple different games. We're going to mix and match. And so you'll see us playing these games for the first time as well. You know, Casey has kind of curated a card card gaming experience for us, and you're going to be sitting courtside watching us as we go. We'll also talk a little bit about our epic histories with trading card games and what we love now and where we're at. But this is going to be an episode that you're going to want to watch every minute of. So,
this is going to be one that's packed full of stuff. We have a lot to do today.
Yeah, we really do.
We're going to have to speed run this a little bit.
Go.
So step one, I just want to get like some of our past experiences. Like,
sure. Cool.
What have you done with trading card games before? Are you playing anything regularly now? Just so there was sort of a baseline of like where we're all coming from when we're checking out these new games and letting you know about the stuff that we're playing today.
Yes.
So let's start on the end. Aaron.
All right.
Trading card games.
Yes, trading card.
What did you play? Where did you start?
Yes,
What's your life?
I remember in 5th grade, a friend of mine named Connor Wright, he brought a little deck of cards to school.
Okay.
What deck of cards is this? Oh, it's called Magic the Gathering. Here's how you kind of do it, and it was like the rules were like way wrong because we were in 5th grade. But I was
They were 5th grade rules.
Yes, but I was like, man, this is so cool. It's like the art is so cool, and like there's like creatures. And so then I got Portal, which was the like training deck at the time.
Okay.
It's like the first like preset deck. 5th edition was the edition that was out. I remember that. And then I kept playing a little bit, but then I really got into it in the year 1999, or in like 2000, when Mercadian Masks was big.
Okay.
That blew my mind, and then that's when I started to do Magic tournaments with my friends.
Ooh, okay.
We were playing 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds as 8th graders, and winning sometimes.
Oh, I was just going to say, did that go well, or were these...
Yeah, I made a goblin deck that got to like the top 4 one time that I was like blown away, but my friends were even better at it. They would like win sometimes.
And was the money starting to flow out?
Yeah,
more
my allowance, right. But a booster pack back then was like $5.
No school lunch, you know, I'll forego lunch and eating to...
But then it kind of died off for me. I think it was just too competitive, too much, and then I kind of got out of it, and I haven't really been into it. I dabbled in Lorcana like a tiny bit last year, but then I was like, I need to stop.
This isn't healthy.
But I liked the system of it, and that's where I'm at.
Cool.
Sweet.
Okay. Royce, go right ahead.
So short version, I think the first trading card game I ever played was the Decipher Star Wars trading card game that was available in the 90s.
Wow.
It was so complicated.
Yeah.
I did actually play it, but looking back on the rule set, I was like, how did I, as like an 11, 12-year-old, comprehend it? It was so complicated. But it was Star Wars, so it was cool, you know, and it didn't matter.
Original trilogy.
Yes, it was. Yes. And they were taking like every little frame, every little background character, and like giving them like a backstory, because that's all they had to work. They had 3 movies to work with.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I have played some Magic. Most of my experience from Magic is from Arena, so digital. So I do know how to play. I'm pretty, I'm familiar with the rules, and I've played that kind of off and on throughout the years. The first game that I really got into was a digital trading card game called Eternal, and that was the one. It came out. I got to play right as it came out, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get deep and really understand what's going on. But the thing that I found frustrating was, with all these hundreds of cards, the meta really boiled down to just like a handful of decks, and like you didn't really get to see most of the cards, right? And then I was like, well, okay, well, that's just what trading card games are. It just gets boiled down. But then I learned about KeyForge.
And it changed your life.
Shirt.
I read Richard Garfield's little explanatory article about what problems he was trying to solve with KeyForge.
So the maker of both Magic and then subsequently
other stuff.
I did play. I played Netrunner for a little bit. It was really cool, but it was the barrier to entry was too high.
Yeah.
But the game itself is really cool. But if you don't know, KeyForge is there's no deck building. So when you buy a deck, it's pre-built, it's algorithmically generated, and it's unique. So you are the only person in the world that has that combination of cards.
Yep.
They have unique backs. You can't switch them out. You can't build new decks. So when I first heard about that, I was like, this sounds like it would solve all of my problems with KeyForge. So I pre-ordered it before it came out. I got the first set. I played it a little bit and I was like, this is super fun, and I've been a huge KeyForge fan ever since. So, and I'm still repping KeyForge
to this day.
Hardcore.
And I'm always trying to recruit people to play KeyForge. So that's my TCG home right now.
And your children may be next.
We have played a little bit of KeyForge. yeah. It's still a little bit beyond them, but my 7-year-old can read.
How many decks do you think you have?
So my collection, my whittled down collection that's in that backpack right there is 50 decks. Okay. And that's the decks that I keep. I have another box of decks that I like. Those are the decks I get rid of. And that's like maybe another 100.
Wow. How many do you think you've gotten?
It's like probably in the 150 to 200 range. Which is in terms of like KeyForge fans is modest.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm definitely in the middle of the pack. Yeah. So.
Alrighty.
As the oldest member, I was there at the beginning. You could see right there, that's a revised edition. This was sort of like the second print.
Alpha would be the beginning.
That's right. But I mean, like Alpha was a really small print, and this was like the first like big release. And I had a comic book shop next to the college I was going to that I would regularly visit for my comics. And one day I went across, and there was a Mass of Humanity in there, and I was like, hey, why the Mass of Humanity? And he was like, they were like, this is Magic game, and it's awesome. And it's like, well, I'll get in line. And so then my friends and I all got Magic decks, and we were there early on with the first, 3 or 4, 5 different expansions of it. And this was before the internet. The internet really didn't exist when this first came out. So there was this air of mystery about the cards of like, I've heard there's a Lord of the Pit. I've heard there's a Royal Assassin. Yeah. Oh God, if I could find somebody with that card, I would trade them. I would, we would figure it out. We had no idea of, the numeric value of the card. There was no, here's pre-built decks to murder people online, and we would play games, and I would play a 3-color deck of 200 or 300 cards.
Oh man!
And it was just huge, and it was just so it was like I want to see this card played. This is a cool card. Yeah. This is a cool card. This and this and this, and you'd play over and over again, and just to see. Oh, this one's never come up, and you'd play it. And then as I graduated college and as the internet era started, there was kind of a drop off.
So of all of us, I've probably experienced trading card games the least, I bet, in terms of like actual play time and stuff. I've dipped my toes in a ton of them.
Yeah.
I was around when Magic was kind of first being big and stuff, and I checked it out a little bit and played, but never did tournaments, never played a lot, never spent a ton of money on it. Mostly like drafting and stuff, because that was an easy way in, and you didn't have to really commit a lot. Probably the trading card game I played the most is Hearthstone, which is the digital Blizzard version.
You reminded me. I also played Hearthstone.
So there's digital versions of a lot of these that kind of streamline a lot of stuff and are a good entry point, just like Arena for Magic. But I played a little bit of Pokemon when it was blowing up and getting big. Again, just a little bit. Played some KeyForge when it first came out, and then kind of went away with that. Tried a little bit of Lorcana lately when it came out, because it was a big deal. But I've really not played a ton, which is so weird because now I see it a lot because I work at a card game store. So like I see a ton of Magic going on, and we're running tournaments and all these different formats and stuff. So now it's weird sort of living in that world when I was never like committed to that world. So it'll be fun to like check out some
Yeah,
of these new things and see like what's going on today.
It's sort of a new era, right? It's sort of the IP era of cards in some ways.
I don't know. I think if you look back at like the early '90s, it was sort of like every IP. Like there's an Austin Powers trading.
There's
card
a lot
game.
of Magic
There's a Sim City trading card game.
Oh my god!
Like if you were an IP in that like late '90s era, you had a card game.
I remember for a while when I was like in middle school, I dabbled in this like Sailor Moon. Because I was cool. There's a Sailor Moon.
Yeah, it seems. I guess what I'm saying is like now it seems like stronger IP ones are kind of staying. Like the Gundam and the Star Wars and
Star Wars has had multiple iterations.
Right,
this is the latest.
There's been a lot of Star Wars cards.
So
different ones. Yeah.
So anyway, none of us know a ton aside from Captain KeyForge. None of us know a ton about that. And so we thought we would learn it and we would experience it along with you, and that's what today's all about.
So now I'm going to talk about the top selling trading card games because we're going to be playing some of those today. As of the end of last year, and now we're in 2026, so we'll be looking at the new stuff. So number 10 was Star Wars Unlimited.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to be checking that one out.
Yeah,
today. Star Wars Unlimited. I got a starter kit for that one. Number 9 is the Digimon card game.
Digimon. Control monsters. Digimon are the champions.
That one.
Thank you. Wow.
Yep. And it has a trading card game.
I don't know.
Number 8, we talked about it. Gundam.
Gundam
Card game, trading card game for Gundam is number 8. Number 7 is Pokemon. Japan. There's a couple.
That's different.
It's a different version of the Pokemon trading game. A little bit different style and
really
different
language. Is it in English?
It's rated different. No, that's the Japanese version. So that's why it's different than what we've ever played.
But it's still number 7.
Still number 7
Wow.
versus the other ones.
Okay.
Number 6 is Disney's Lorcana.
Okay.
Came out very recently, so we're going to check out some of the starter decks for that one.
Cool.
Sweet.
Some of us have played a little bit of that, but we'll check out
if you
some of
haven't
the
played
new
it, I
stuff.
think you'll be surprised with it.
I like that one.
Yeah, if you
more than some of the other ones.
if you play Magic the Gathering, I mean, you're like 90% there.
Yeah,
and
a lot of these
it's
will probably
even less.
feel similar
Yeah,
in terms of how they work. Number 5 is Riftbound, the new Riot League of Legends themed trading card game. Huge, hard to get a hold of right now, just because it's probably one of the newest ones on this list. And so they're still releasing stuff, and you can only get it through certain places, and some only if you play there in their events is how you can get the cards these days.
Right.
Number 4, we talked about a little bit, is Yu-Gi-Oh! We'll be checking out the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. I have a starter pack right here that has 2 decks in there.
It's time to do.
So we could try dueling each other and see how that plays.
I've never... Was that the 25th anniversary? Is that what that says?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I never played it. I've never wanted to play it. I've never looked into it.
Here it is.
Been interested in
It's got kind of cool, like Gundam.
I mean, it's very anime style.
I just something about it never hooked me.
Yeah. Well, we'll look and see why
maybe
worldwide.
today you'll
Maybe today.
We'll find out.
That's right.
39.
We'll find out why it's number 4. Number 3, the One Piece card game. One Piece, another giant
big
anime.
right now.
That was big, yeah.
I didn't realize.
That was like hard to find. Is it still hard to find?
It's still hard to find. I don't have a version that
Have
I
any
can
of you
play
guys
today,
watched One
but-
Piece?
I haven't.
I've seen a few episodes, but it's one of those that has like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes across all of its
it's
timeline.
huge.
and-
It's huge.
So massive commitment. Number 2, Pokemon. English global version versus the Japanese version. We've played some of that.
Yeah.
And then of course number 1 is Magic the Gathering. I have a couple starter sets. We can check out some of the more recent ones. Final Fantasy, and I have the Lord of the Rings starter packs. So we can play some of those and check out what a newer starter kit for Magic looks like today.
Yep.
How it feels compared to some of our other stuff that we remember.
Cool.
And what it's like.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's an immense, 30-year, 35-year history here, but we're talking March 2026. What would it be like walking into a game store today and picking up something and what's accessible, what's affordable, and
how do they compare?
What might be fun moving forward.
Right.
So,
and then I've got a couple surprises for you guys to check out. These are not on the top 10 best-selling trading card games.
Oh, okay.
I have Redemption.
Oh my god.
the Bible.
I guess
Bible
Royce knows about this.
The Bible themed trading
Oh
card
my
game.
God!
wow.
I have the Israel's Deliverance starter
How do you
kit.
know about this?
I mean, I was raised conservative Christian. This was
So you
wow.
played this?
I don't think I ever played it, but I had some redemption cards.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I've got some booster packs
Okay.
for it that we can check out too, like
wow.
Gospel of Christ.
Are you
The
looking?
priests.
Are you looking for the Jesus card? Is that the card?
Is that
you're
like the
looking
Black
for?
Lotus?
There is a Son of God card that is apparently super overpowered and in every deck because it's so good.
Wow.
So yes, we'll be looking at
We're gonna
some
be
of
cracking
those.
some redemption.
We'll be cracking
Wow.
some redemption packs.
Nice.
And here's something funny about that. When I bought this, I bought it because I think it's hilarious.
How old is it? Is it still
It's
being
a
printed?
from the '90s, so they took like magic and they were like,
and they're like,
Yeah.
make it-
Jesus.
So
Make
it's
it a
Bible.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's second only to Magic for like the longest running trading.
yeah,
card.
it's been around a
I
long
mean,
time, and they're still coming
look,
with new packs.
It's smart. I
Yeah.
mean, from a purely
Well,
money.
Here's the funny thing:
perspective.
I bought one of these starter decks for like $15. Comes with 2 decks. They sent me the rest of this free.
Yeah!
Let's get it out.
Yeah! Take it.
Somebody bought redemption. just throw it out. Just give them stuff. Get it out of
So
here.
we'll be able to try some redemption.
Wow.
my God.
Gotta make space for Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm excited to be
amazing.
redeemed today.
Okay.
It's gonna be an exciting
check
day.
out.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah,
exciting
right.
day.
Let's do it.
How do I know?
How's it going over there?
We're doing great. Joshua the Faithful is fighting a subjugating Egyptian.
How's Star Wars Unlimited going, Scott?
So far, I'm enjoying being the Empire and crushing the Rebellion.
Of course.
How's Egypt?
It's great. I just lost Joshua. I'm in big trouble.
Oh no.
All right, we just completed our intro Battle Hoth from Star Wars Unlimited.
Yes.
It walked you through. In fact, it even had like the decks in order.
Yes.
But having played Magic and stuff, after we kind of walked through, like maybe
We learned in about 10 minutes.
yeah. After we walked through it, then we just decided we're
just gonna
shuffle
do
it
it.
up and play it.
Yes.
So it was back and forth, pretty good.
Very much so.
One of the, I guess I would say, it's very Magic, but one of the difference is there's a space kind of area that you fight in, a ground area that you fight in.
Yes.
You have a leader card that can come out under certain conditions. Mine was Vader, his was Leia.
Yeah.
And and you attack a base, not each other. And so you're kind of whittling things down on that. I would say it was pretty back and forth. And then kind of the last couple of rounds I had space guys, and Eric didn't have space guys. And so I was able to kind of beat him in the end of it.
Yes.
Eric, what are your thoughts?
I think this is really, really, really cool. This is the kind of game I could totally get into. It's very thematic for TCG especially.
Yeah, I love the Hoth theme a lot.
Yeah, the Hoth theme of this works great, but I mean, even just mixing and matching cards, I could see like with boosters and other additions and blah blah blah.
I wonder how much theme we would lose if, let's say, you bought a few booster cards and then you only had like a smattering of the Hoth cards.
Yeah.
Would it feel less thematic that way? I don't know for sure.
Probably, but this one really, really good. Especially if you're just jumping in, not really sure if you
want to play it, you know, you have your spouse, have your kid or whatever. And you
Yeah,
jump
I
in.
don't think the price point. Casey, what's the price point?
I think
on
those
this?
around 20.
$20.
I think most of these are around 20.
Yeah, I mean,
Totally
for
worth
$20,
it.
it's kind of nice.
Great.
It has a nice, actually, like cardboard board
The
that
board
comes
is
to it.
cool.
I think, and it has nice reminders on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little trainy, get you started. But I kind of like that sometimes
Yeah.
instead of having to kind of like dig for rules and what are we doing and stuff. So it was fun. I don't know, I don't know what the costs of the other things are or how far down the rabbit hole I would want to go with
There's a
this.
hole.
There's packs, there's decks.
Yes,
You can
yeah.
go
I just don't know how far down that hole I would
You
want to
want
go.
to go,
But
yeah.
I would replay this
Yeah, absolutely.
several times.
Totally.
So,
There you go.
all right.
This is a card type called an Evil Dominant. It's called Murderous Command. It depicts King Ramses II and has a quote from Exodus. I could take an evil Egyptian from a deck or reserve. I'm going to look for my most evil, powerful
Are all
Egyptian.
evil?
Yes, have you read the Bible? Okay. Oh, here we go. I'm going to take Pharaoh's army.
Sweet.
Okay. Then I can discard a hero in a territory. I can discard a hero in my territory. A hero in a territory. I'm going to discard Abigail
Okay.
to add an evil Egyptian to battle.
This is gonna be bad. They finished Star Wars Unlimited about 10 minutes, got through it pretty easily. The rules were intuitive. We spent probably 20 minutes.
And
I still really have no idea how to play
really unsure.
Redemption.
You do need to know your Bible.
Because this makes me feel like I need to reread the entire Bible to understand what's going on.
There's something
Depends
here
on if
that's
you read.
interesting. You know, we both have good and evil characters in our decks.
Yeah.
I like that kind of. I like not having a resource system. I like being able just to play whatever I want.
Sure.
I'm not sure if we did what we came to understand the battle to be. I'm not sure is correct.
We had to kind of intuit
we
a lot
had
of
we had to
stuff.
make a lot of stuff. The back and forth of like you get to play something, I get to play something. It was cool. Again, I'm not sure if I understand that we implemented it correctly, but so that was kind of interesting. But beyond that, I'm just too confused.
It took so much work to like even try to play this. Like you guys said, it was pretty easy to figure out.
Totally.
But we
This
are
was
going
not.
to,
We had to do a ton of digging to like figure out what does this term mean? What are all these symbols?
and we're not confident that we got it right.
Here we are,
we just-
Scott and I.
We just played these two Lorcana sets against each other. What's
did.
the price point on these
I think
guys?
those were 15 each.
15
so
each.
15 for a little starter deck.
Okay.
And
they
obviously
came,
there's
yeah,
packs.
they came with packs, but we didn't use those. We just went in with the starter decks.
Right.
Very magic-y.
Yeah, this was your first time
Yes,
playing
first
Lorcana
time playing Lorcana.
ever?
I like the, you're never gonna be like mana tap. What's the term?
Right.
Mana.
Like landlocked or something in
landlocked or,
Magic.
yeah, mana trapped or mana hell or
Yeah,
whatever.
the dual purpose cards are nice.
Yeah, that you could put a face down for resources. So every round you could kind of get a resource no matter what.
And I think is an interesting decision point too of like, do I save this because it's a powerful card for later, or do I need the mana now?
Yeah, I kind of
sort
got
of
up
that
to 5
management
mana,
and-
and then I kind of started using them all.
Right. Yeah, you didn't have like super high cost cards or
Yeah.
anything.
I assume.
I like that. I like the setup. Like it's really easy to like figure out your score tracker.
Yeah, I like how they
discard.
built that. Yeah.
I like the permanent damage. They have counters, so
Yep.
like things that get damaged, it'll stay on there. Versus Magic is kind of all at once,
Right.
removal or
Yep.
not. And that sort of takes a thing from like digital games like Hearthstone, where you can do permanent damage
Right.
that stays on there and is self-tracking and stuff. I like all of that. I got really steamrolled. And it felt like I had no choice in the matter. Like
Right,
we
I
sort
just-
of played all our stuff.
Right, yeah. And I had too many people, and
Yeah,
you
there was
didn't, and-
there was no good way for like big removal. Like there's no real way for me to like massively clear your board or
yeah.
anything.
And so it sort of became a little anticlimactic. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like 4 turns into the game, I'm like,
Right.
I'm sort of destined to win this.
And that
you know?
might just be the decks.
Yeah,
like you
we
could
haven't-
have had
we
a very
haven't played it
early
once.
game deck, and I could have had a very late game deck. It could have just been the draw. Like you had really powerful early stuff, and I didn't. And so I don't know like all the mixing and matching of decks and how that would play out. And obviously there's ways to customize it. Like maybe I could make my deck faster moving or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
and you know, I think the Disney kind of franchise is huge, and so there's a lot of stuff that there could be in there. But there's just a little, I don't know, it's just a little like.
Felt a little out of my hands.
Yeah, and it felt a little, I don't know. I mean, for me, it was, I mean, I'm sure there's kids that are really into Disney that this is a great way in for them. But for me, it's sort of like I'd much rather play a fantasy, magic, or Star Wars or something than this. But I think mechanically it works okay. I think we'd want to play it a few more times.
I think it was great mechanically. It was easy to figure out. It was easy to jump into. It's easy to keep track of everything. I feel like deck building would maybe be a fun part of this, of like figuring out how I want my deck to behave. We just played with pre-built ones, and they kind of did what they were going to do.
All right.
So
well, that's quick Lorcana after sort of a first play.
Okay, we are right in the middle of a heated Yu-Gi-Oh match. Behold.
Okay, I'm gonna sacrifice White Ninja and pull out a Cyber Dragon.
He's been doing that voice this whole time.
Yes.
You're in deep doo-doo now.
Of
Draw a
Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's not gonna help you.
Is this your life? You have 6,000 life?
He's got 7,300.
But look at the attack
Okay.
and defense on here. It's like 1,800 and...
Cool.
Bigger numbers mean more fun.
I can only attack with one, right?
I don't know for sure.
It's kind of important.
We kind of need to know right
It's
now.
the difference between 0 and 3,000 damage.
Alrighty, here we are. Casey and Royce, we just finished a little round of KeyForge. Obviously, Royce here quite experienced with KeyForge, played it on a regular basis.
Yes.
I played it quite a bit right around the time it came out when it was kind of new and we were all checking it out. But then I haven't really played it in a few years, so this was sort of a refresher for me. But it felt very much the same as I remember it. The mechanics are kind of the same thing. You're gathering your embers, you're forging your keys, and the biggest decider is, am I fighting with my stuff or am I using it to generate more ember for me? So it felt really familiar, even having been many a year. Now we did play with some of the starter decks,
So these are from the
crazy new.
the Discovery set. So these are designed for new players. So yeah, and they do feel, especially from my memory, very similar to that first set. But you know, there's a lot of other sets that have added a lot more mechanics and different gimmicks and
More
tricks.
complexity and just-
But this is the place to start, is Discovery.
Okay, and you absolutely crushed me. Is this your general experience?
Well,
are
I
you
think-
good at KeyForge? And
It's hard, you know. It's so tricky because I know all my heuristics, and so
Sure.
I just play automatically, and then I feel like sometimes with a new player, I just end up crushing them because they don't have that same kind of.
Sure, it felt
You know-
to me though, even kind of being familiar with it, I didn't feel like I had a lot of choice. Like a lot of my things were beneficial if I had, say, more creatures than you.
Yeah.
And that just never happened. Or I could steal, and stealing more would be better under certain conditions.
Yeah.
And those conditions never happened.
Yeah.
So it just felt like a lot of things were sort of
Yeah.
out of my hand for a lot of it.
Yeah, and so the instinct there at that point is like, if I don't have the cards that I need to deal with this situation, I want to play as many cards as I can
Just to choose
to
through
cycle.
everything.
You know, so I would play cards suboptimally just to get to something better.
Sure. To
But
kind
it
of
depends
know.
on the deck too, because like once you get to know the deck, like you know what it can do and what it can't do. And so it just depends on, you know, what are you trying to dig for?
Right.
You know, and so
Yeah,
that-
there's a
and
level of experience
Yeah.
and being practiced with what you're
and
seeing.
there's no way to emulate that for a new player. They just have to play a lot.
Right.
So I feel like these two decks, these are my two starter decks, and I feel like they're pretty well matched.
Okay.
Um,
Pretty well balanced and
yeah,
everything.
but anyway,
Okay.
The only thing else I gotta make my pitch
Go.
because I love KeyForge. I think in terms of like entry points, especially for people who are interested in board games, I think KeyForge is the best entry point in terms of a trading card game because you do not have to build the deck. There's not this extra part on top.
It saves
of,
you that layer.
Yeah.
And it is quite intuitive in terms of what you're doing and how you're generating your forge, your keys.
And there's not that time investment of like, oh, I have to put all this extra time into learning the meta, building the decks. You can just sit down and play. My time with KeyForge, and because that's the other thing, I don't have time for that. So my time with KeyForge is spent playing KeyForge.
Condense what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So, but in terms of entry points, there's the discovery sets, there are 2-player starter sets, and there's a lot of older decks, especially some of the earlier sets that got overprinted because they didn't meet demand that are available that are very cheap.
Sure.
So,
easy to get into.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. Well, there you go. That's KeyForge.
All right, so Eric and I just finished playing what we think is around. This is for 6-year-olds and older.
Oh yeah.
6 year.
Okay. You need to stay in frame. Okay. So let's focus on the positives first. I thought some of the concepts were interesting in that you had defense and attack monsters that could go, and they had different point values when you did that. They were face down so that there were some surprises. There were some traps.
Face down when they're defending, so you don't know what you're attacking. That's kind of a cool idea.
However,
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's cool. The other cool
That's the
thing,
strongest part of the game.
that's cool. And then the other thing that I like is that you sacrifice your smaller creatures.
Right,
There are
yeah.
numbers of stars to kind of like, and they could be like 1 to 10 stars of sort
It's
of
like
level
their
of
level,
power.
right?
Yeah.
Their power level.
And you sacrifice smaller ones to get bigger ones out. And so I kind of like that mechanism as well. I was really excited about the comic book way that was going to take us through learning about it. But it's a really big comic book. It's 62 pages of comic book.
Yeah.
And we made it about halfway through that, and then just started.
Here, read this, 6-year-old.
Right. Yeah. So then the text is super duper tiny. I mean, you can't.
So tiny.
Can't even.
So
it's
tiny.
the tiniest text you've ever seen. But we like the art. It's cool, but it's just the tutorial doesn't work very well, and it's hard to play at first.
Yes.
I would love to play this with somebody that knew how to play it because there's elements that I like to it, but we didn't have a super enjoyable experience, nor did we understand what the hell we were doing as we went through this first time.
No.
So, Eric, other thoughts?
What a day.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
We played some games.
Oh my God, did we play some games?
Before we get into it
Whoa.
in earnest, I'm going to go down the line. Favorite one. Eric, what was your favorite of all the card games you played today?
My favorite, gosh, if I just had to give a knee-jerk reaction, probably Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering.
Okay. Royce?
Sorry, I mean, maybe I.
It's KeyForge, it's
gotta be
KeyForge, it's
KeyForge.
KeyForge, it's KeyForge.
I played. I just in terms of the games I played today, I played ones that were a little bit harder to learn. So like
The one that you did know how.
was easy.
Felt like the best. That makes sense.
That's just where I'm at.
Scott?
I really enjoyed the Star Wars Unlimited, the Hoth battle. I do have questions about, more Unlimited, but this was super fun and awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm also going with Magic the Gathering. I think just on initial, and that kind of surprised me because
me
I
too.
really wanted to get some other things. I did like Lorcana as well. That was close as well. If you're a new player, if you've never played before, how does it feel to jump into it and like try and figure it out and play it for the first time?
So our evaluations are just the impression of, and I think this is what Casey was after, right? If we had gone and grabbed these and sat down with them, what was the sit-down experience?
Yeah. Cool.
And so to just focus on that with I love your term, onboarding the game. Some of the games were really smart with how they did that. I thought Star Wars Unlimited was maybe some of the best onboarding for a game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know,
It says easy to learn on the box.
Yeah,
That
I
is
mean,
correct.
I mean, and
Hint,
it you kept your decks in a certain order, and it didn't like Yu-Gi-Oh tried to do this and failed, but
It did. It was, yeah.
because they both said keep your decks in these orders so that we know what cards you've got. So then it kind of talked through. There was a video that kind of talked through this, but it only did like I don't know, 2 turns each or something like that. And then Eric and I looked at each other and were like, okay, we got it. And we were able to then play it. The same thing, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tried to do that with a comic book, and the complexity just kept getting deeper and layered and layered and layered. And when we said, oh my God, it's a 60-page comic book, and let's try to play it, we really were not sure if we were playing it right. So the onboarding, the starting of the game, really important. I would say Lorcana was pretty easy to pick up as well.
I'll say Lorcana also has a product that's equivalent to this.
Oh,
which
does
is like
it?
The Gateway Pack, where it starts out with decks that are very, very simple, and then it's like, all right, when you got that, add some more cards.
I think that's super smart. You know, and I think Star Wars did that really well. And I think if Yu-Gi-Oh was smart, they would have started off with less and then moved us further forward.
We play a lot of games. A lot. We play a lot of these card games.
We learn a lot of these games. We're used to
Yu-Gi-Oh!
learning.
Has been around for a while.
Yeah.
That tutorial was terrible. And this starting pack, I'm sorry. Listen, first of all, these cards look kind of cheap, and this text is ungodly small. Okay, listen to
Bring your
this
bifocals
card.
is all I'll say.
Listen to this card. This is the 2-player starter pack. Once per turn, and I can barely read this, it's so small. Once per turn, if an XYZ monster battled this turn, you can also XYZ summon Divine Arsenal AA-Zeus Sky Thunder by using one XYZ monster you control as material. Transfer its materials to this card. Quick effect. You could detach 2 materials from this card, send all other cards from the field to the graveyard once per turn. If another card you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent card effects, you can attach 1 card from your hand, deck, extra deck, and this card as material.
Now, you just made half that up.
No, that's what the card says.
What was the confusing part?
Yeah.
There was a whole nother side deck part of this game we didn't even get to.
But Eric, it says for ages 6
and up. A 6-year-old.
No.
Give me
It
a
says it
break.
in multiple places.
Lorcana says 8 and up, and even then, I'm still like
that's reasonable.
Okay, but 6.
There are better ways to do it, and that's one thing I would recommend to some of these newer ones or some that don't have the same level of material for getting people into it, is focus on that. Focus on making your rules clear, step by step, what you do each time. Have a good sort of glossary of terms and everything, because a lot of times in all of these games, you're going through and going, okay, what does this key term mean? We got to figure out what this means. How does a combat phase work? Like, what's involved in that? You want to be very clear with how that goes, because that's the majority of your gameplay, is those interactions.
KeyForge has kind of a similar type product where, like, this example is like includes components and you get a little extra stuff and it maybe doesn't walk you through it, but it's fairly clear, fairly quick.
Not quite. No. So the KeyForge products, there's 2-player starter sets, which will get you decks and will get you started. Won't have quite the same onboarding because all decks are unique, so you can't really
walk through them.
that.
Exactly.
But then there's a set called Discovery, which are basically just like, it's a set of cards that are just kind of trimmed down. It doesn't have a lot of the extra keywords and stuff, and that's what we played with today, Casey.
Yeah.
So that's another place to start. So
yes,
not quite the same in terms of, but in terms of like, hey, these ones are simpler. Learn these, and then you can play with the other decks and then go from there.
Gotcha. So then on the opposite side of the spectrum, what were the ones that were most difficult and why?
So Port Redemption. Oh my God.
Some of them felt like work.
Yeah.
Like you're doing a job, and like,
But to like clarify, if we had someone here who was like a fan of Redemption,
Yes, yeah, that could help.
and could like guide us
Sure.
through and ask questions, because like anytime we had a question, I'm scrolling through the PDF,
right.
and like a lot of
Here's
times.
the thing, though. You don't want that to be a requirement for
No.
playing any
No,
new
no,
game. I have
no,
to
no,
have
no.
a 30-year veteran
Yeah,
to walk
no,
me
that's
through some
hard.
game mechanic.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know,
So yeah, they have
So-
that barrier for
so
sure.
like yeah,
That just kind of takes us back to the onboarding, the tutorials, the start of the game, how easy it is, how intuitive it is hugely important.
Yes.
So then I guess I would say is looking at this array, and you may not pick KeyForge. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Looking at this array, if you were going to put more money into something, if you were going to put
Yeah.
your cash behind something,
Yep.
which of these directions would you go?
So I didn't get to play Star Wars Unlimited today, but I am curious about it. But of the games that I have played on this table, I would say Lorcana.
Okay.
Lorcana is the one that is,
It's a Disney theme.
you're familiar with the characters, you're invested in the IP. The onboarding process was very simple. The thing that would hold me back is the deck building, which
Yes.
is something that I specifically do not like. Which is
One of
I
the
played
things
KeyForge.
when I
But
go ahead.
But Lorcana, I felt like is very accessible. I have
Yes.
the gateway pack at home.
Yeah.
That I was,
And the nice thing was that that there's when there's starter decks, you don't have to build out of the box, right? Especially, and this one feels like you could play with younger kids because it's a little simpler.
Yeah.
But I felt sometimes when I was playing it like, oh, I want to kill some things, but I can't. I just have to go questing.
Yeah.
And so I could
It's nice.
I could feel the like, we're gonna make it Disney nice, for us a little bit there. But I still think it's a quality product.
One of the things though, when you start getting really into it, was when I started to just see like, what is this all about? This game is heavily meta on when you start getting into it. So like, there's only certain kind like. When the new packs and the new
Powerful
editions comes
stuff
out, that what is legal, it's only probably like 5 to 10 decks that are like playable almost, just because it's so meta and it's so like the game is so like distilled down that like that's the only way it can really work
Sure.
to be competitive.
There's
There's also a solo pack that also has boosters and stuff in it, but you can play the game solo, and that solo one is pretty cool. There's a Ursula one and there's like a Jafar one, and they're both pretty cool, and it's a good way to test your decks out too.
Sure.
So which one are you kind of went on a side trail there a little bit. Which one did you say that you would put more money into of these?
If I had to, it would be the Star Wars Unlimited.
I was kind of like, okay. I was burned and hurt the last time when we were just starting to get back into gaming. I was like, I'm gonna find the cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
And Fantasy Flight came out with Star Wars the card game, the living card game, and they had booster boxes, and they had boxes that were just of the Hoth War, and they had this and they had that, and I just opened up my wallet and just shook it all out. And just recently sold all of it because it wasn't intuitive. It wasn't easy to play. It wasn't easy to find. They were trying so hard to make it different enough from Magic that it made it really difficult. Yeah. Whereas this is all the good stuff on Magic, some simpler, greater things, no mana, drought, flipping the cards over, and wow, I was really impressed with.
I wonder
Star
if
Wars.
the Disney crossover has anything to do with the similarity of some of the mechanics, because there's a lot of similarities between Star Wars and Lorcana.
Yeah, there was.
They are two different publishers, because this is
Right.
Fantasy Flight and this is Raven's Flight.
But I wonder if there's somebody in charge at Disney that's
Like a
like,
Disney
hey,
game
we got to do it like
czar.
this.
Yeah.
Because there's only that one resource or mana or whatever.
Yeah.
That you take a card and just turn it into that. I mean, that's like two similar
Well, but that might
But
also...
a lot of games have kind of started to go in that direction.
It might just be the distillation of mechanics.
It
Like
could
that's
be.
how you
I think that's just
solve
where we're at
the
now.
mana problem.
Yeah,
and
because
so-
that is one of the big griefs with Magic.
With Magic,
So if
yeah.
you're trying to solve a problem, like that's where you go is the resource.
And then you could choose to attack the characters instead of like blocking or whatever, or you quest or you attack the base. That's basically the same thing too. So yeah, they're both really good.
So that's me. Casey, what about you?
So yours was unlimited for doing more.
Yeah.
I was surprised because I didn't want this to happen.
Redemption.
But now I want to play Magic more.
Really?
It's
Yeah,
just it's the most
I got-
polished. It's got like
It
the
is.
best theme mechanically to work with different sets and stuff.
And we did a Lord of the Rings one and
Yeah.
a Final Fantasy one, and just the table, we sat for the first time ever, we sat next to each other, and I listened to you guys go, oh, this Final Fantasy character, and this one, oh, and this is cool, and then we were over here on this side, and we're like, here's Aragorn, and here's, Sauron, and back and forth with some of the little hobbits and stuff, and, I think these might have represented the last sane things Magic did before they jumped the shark and went into Ninja
it's funny
Turtles
because
and Spider-Man.
I know is there a Star Trek
There's
coming
Avatar.
out?
Star Trek is coming out.
I'm
Teenage
kind of
Mutant
excited
Ninja
for that
Turtles
now.
just came out. And so that's maybe another reason why this works is you pick whatever IP or little niche you like, and there's probably a set for it.
Yeah.
But it would be weird to mix like Cloud
Right.
and like Aragorn in with like the Magic the Gathering.
Well, that's
Right.
what new standard decks are doing. So,
wow. Oh, wow.
so and again, maybe it's
That just
because
seems
we had
wrong.
starter decks.
Yeah.
This was a better,
I guess
simplified
I just want to keep it
experience.
thematic to whatever theme that it's going for. Like, I mean,
But again,
it
you
just
have
the
that
system.
option.
The system is just so good.
Yeah. Well, and just the funny thing is that I was sitting back at the table just. Everybody knows this. It's like the only thing we had to remember was how many cards do we draw? Boom, 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 and then we were all playing.
And then it was like, what was this
and we
keyword?
were just going. And
Which was on the card. It just didn't.
so there's that
Right.
That's kind of fun.
Huge.
That's kind of where that came back
I
around.
will say
for you.
one thing I felt that every one of these kind of had in common was snowball factor. Most of these games were like you could kind of steamroll one side depending on the draw or how you were playing things out.
You know what? I don't know if it was just because these are pre-selected.
That one
packs,
feel pretty even.
But this, I don't really feel like that was.
No, it's pretty
much.
even. It was pretty even.
I probably made a decision or two that could have.
You made some poor
I made some poor decisions.
Yeah.
But this one's kind of cool because not only in Star Wars Unlimited do you play everything you can on your turn, it's also when do you take that initiative token, because that means you'll start the next phase.
That was a really interesting mechanic that was added into this, where whoever
But when you
ends
do
your
that,
turn first,
you pass. You're
yes,
done.
yeah. So it's like you're going back and forth, and you're playing your resources, and you can decide I'm just going to be done.
Yeah.
Or you could play your stuff a little quicker, and then you could take that initiative token to be sure you were going to start the next round.
Which could be huge, and I probably should have done that near our last.
You should have.
Yeah, because I was like, I want to keep playing, but if I had stopped and taken, because going first is kind of huge, because you can sort of set the stage for how that next battle is going to go, sort of. Then I might have survived.
No. But that's a nice thing. I agree with that. That was a nice new mechanic.
Really neat
as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up, probably if you're a new player, brand new to trading card games, Star Wars Unlimited or Lorcana are probably the safest bets.
Yeah.
In terms of trying something new and having it be easy to learn and pick up.
Yes.
But if you kind of want the tried and true king, maybe it's still Magic. Still feels good to play. There's still lots of options.
And speaking of kings,
or you could have the King of Kings.
Yes.
In Redemption.
Just real quick, what was Redemption's biggest? What was the unredeeming quality?
The unredemption. What was the unredemption?
I mean,
we didn't get to play that one.
We didn't know how to play.
Part of it was the digging. We were just digging through.
Dude, well, okay,
rules
and you're telling me
to
they're still
figure it
making
out.
this game?
For ages 7 and up.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
so all the
these
Yu-Gi-Oh
games are
kids who are
ridiculous.
no Yu-Gi-Oh can switch to Redemption.
Right,
Nice and
right,
easy.
yeah. It's sort of like a stair-stepping effect, right?
Yeah.
So and then Lorcana. So here's how it goes.
Right.
How bad that game looks. I can't believe they're still making...
People are still doing tournaments for it. They're still making packs for it.
My
So
God.
clearly it works, and
So there's a community
people are out there
there.
enjoying
Yeah,
it.
wow.
It's
That's
probably,
it. Because
and
it's
people are out there buying Yu-Gi-Oh. We
Yeah.
established it's the most selling of all time.
And
So
I-
somebody understands how to play that.
The funny thing, the other funny thing, as we kind of wrap up, is we've all kind of got a soft place in our heart for various things and various themes.
Yeah.
And I think there's potential in Yu-Gi-Oh! and I'm going to take it home with my son, and we might work through the comic book a little bit more and see if we can get a better overall understanding of it, because there were some cool elements that we did like to it that we talked about in our individual video. And I'm sure that's kind of similar with some of the other ones too. I think there's some great things about KeyForge as well, and who knows about some of the other games. But it was really fun. I think Casey had a great idea to have us dive back into card games and see where we're at, because I was terrified of Star Wars Unlimited.
Really?
I mean, I was hurt so bad by I bought all this shit, and then here's $200 and I'm just gonna pack it all away and send it all away, and then another, in the name Unlimited. I just saw a dollar sign after unlimited dollars, right? And so, but I also wonder if I love this experience so much. Do you even want other things? I don't know. So,
Do you want to play with Rey? Do you want to play with General Grievous?
Right,
You gotta get those other characters.
right. I don't understand this General Grievous of which you speak. There's only 3 Star Wars movies. There's only 3 of them.
Yeah. I don't Ray.
Who?
Like a ray gun.
Like Ray gun.
Must be a laser. Yeah.
So, any last thoughts? Any wrap-up thoughts for anybody?
I mean, card games are so interesting, because they do have that larger barrier to entry as opposed to a board game, and they take more time. There's that term lifestyle game, which like Magic definitely
your life.
is. Like if you play, like that's what you play.
Yes.
And so it's really hard.
Yes.
You really only have room for maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So like. When you've got one that you love, like that bar for for something to knock that out is pretty high.
Yeah.
Well, and as you, especially I found this with Magic, as you buy more Magic stuff, you then want to use that stuff in a game playing with other people, and then you buy more stuff because you saw what some of the other people had, and then you buy more stuff. And so it's only worth something when you're playing with it, really. Otherwise, they just kind of sit around and you can collect them, I guess, and say these look cool, but it's really only worth something if you're playing it.
It just gets left in a binder
Right.
on the shelf. That's kind of why, that's actually one of the big reasons I wanted to get into board gaming. Right? Because you don't have to just be into one game system. But because you're absolutely right. I mean, it's like an investment. If you really want to get into any one of these, pretty much, you have to go all in on one.
Yeah. It's a feedback
So
loop.
board gaming, I still do prefer over this kind of stuff, just because I feel like there's just much more variety.
But I would almost say, like, this experience, the line starts to blur a little bit.
It does.
Like this had a board, and we played a board game really with cards.
And each side was very thematic.
Yes, yeah. And so I think the line
Preset.
is getting more blurred in some ways. With some of that. And there were things that we didn't play. Gundam, I've heard some things about, and it's Rift. What's this?
Riftbound. Yeah, maybe we'll have to do a part 2 of
part
this.
2,
Check out Pokemon and some of the other big
there's
giant
a few.
ones.
There's a few others, but I think
see.
we gave a taste to ourselves and hopefully to you guys. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Let us know. What do you love? What would we love if we just knew the rules? Give us some feedback. Give us some thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I mean, literally for our benefit. Just help us out.
Yeah, what are you playing
Hopefully
right
we
now?
gave you something of benefit. Give us something of benefit. Talk to us about these. Is diving deeper into Star Wars Unlimited a great way to go, or are some of these others, if you haven't given KeyForge or, some of the new,
the newer redemption packs.
right.
Let's give a round of applause to Royce.
Oh, thank you.
Yay!
Thank you, Royce, for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Till next time, I'm Eric.
I'm Royce.
Scott.
Casey.
Keep your cheese
Evil.
Is that the new thing?